ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Owlet tournament. I am your host and play-by-play caster, Reignbow. We've got an excellent match for you tonight featuring Vote Meme Today versus Odyssey eSports. Joining me in the commentary booth tonight is Bowsy. How are you doing tonight, Bowsy?
I'm doing all right, Rainbow. It's going to be a very exciting match we have here today. Just like with our last match that we casted, Talonfire versus Vote Meme Today, these two teams are one spot apart. Vote Meme Today is currently 5th in the standings. Odyssey is 6th.
And that's very important, the places these teams are in, because only the top 5 teams in each division is going to be moving on to the playoffs. So these teams are going to be fighting their hearts out to make sure they get into the playoffs here. This is going to be surely a very exciting match here.
Yeah, absolutely. And while these standings are a little bit off because Odyssey Esports has not played 4 matches so far this season, they need to make up those in the upcoming weeks. It's still going to be a very close match to decide which one of these teams we feel like has a better chance of getting that 5th position or in the top 5 position.
Yeah, and so let's take a quick look at kind of where these teams are coming into this matchup. Both of these teams coming off a loss, but Odyssey Esports is just coming off 1 loss. Vote Meme Today has gone 0-9 in their recent games. So they're definitely looking to make a comeback here and really redeem themselves.
Yeah, it's looking very rough for Vote Meme Today recently. Of course, last Friday they had their loss 3-0 to Talonfire, after what looked like an extremely close Kings Row match that had us on the edge of our seats. But regardless, if you're Vote Meme Today, the best thing you could do, take a deep breath, come back on Sunday, and get ready for the next match, because it's all uphill from here. You have two matches left in the season. You just got to keep a consistent trend, not lose too much, and then you'll be secured into the playoffs.
Yeah, and I was with them right before watching their warm-ups, trying to get some background information, because they were originally going to have a ringer. They were seemingly able to get their original DPS player in, but they were seeming really excited, really hyped, so they're definitely coming in with a good mood. So I definitely think they haven't been too intimidated by their losses, and they're still definitely here to fight.
That's right. With all that said, we are going to be starting the match here on Busan, starting off with Mecha Base. It's going to be interesting to see which one of these teams will come out on top. It's also worth noting the rosters of these two teams. One of the biggest things that we've noticed here when we were coming into the lobby is the tank line of Vote Meme Today. Last time we saw a lot of keyframe on that off-tank position. This time, we see both of the main tanks we saw, War and Peace and Jackson Moon, on the starting roster.
Yeah, definitely kind of interesting in the what is kind of quoted as the no main tank meta. But so we will be seeing Jackson kind of flexing over to that off tank position. Warren is staying on his Reinhardt, looks like. But let's take a quick look over here at Odyssey Esports and what they're running.
Yeah, Odyssey Esports right now, Halcyon, whatever. Actually, I can check that.
That is Halton.
We do have a pause. Halton, thank you. Just looking at the map sheet. So Halton has not selected the hero, but it most likely looks like they are going to be going in with a brawl. We seem to be having a little bit of technical issues as Halton has not loaded into the match. No wonder he has not chosen his hero. So, yeah.
Yeah, but we can look at the rest of the roster. I'm curious on your thoughts for this DPS line.
Yeah, the DPS line seems very interesting. Reaper Doom seems to me that they just want to go straight into their faces and start picking them off one by one in front of their face, hoping that nothing can help them. But it's going to be interesting. And even with that Lucio, it shows that they just want to go balls to the wall aggressive and go straight into the faces of Vote Meme Today. So we'll see what happens as we head into the match. Halton, I have to say, world record for choosing the hero the fastest.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm excited to see Odyssey here. I love aggression, so cool to see exactly what they pull out. They did switch over onto the Soldier there for Bone. We're going to be seeing these two teams slowly approaching an offensive, getting the first kill onto Zebra Cookie, taking out the Doomfist for Odyssey Esports.
Yeah, we seem to be having I was noticing that Zebra Cookie was a little bit ahead with the rest of his team, and Halton seems to be having a lot of problems. He's still in the spawn room. He hasn't moved since. If he has, he was like very jittery. So obviously a bad start here for Odyssey Esports, but there is still hope for them to come back.
Yeah, it's going to another pause here. It seems that Odyssey is continuing to have technical issues, um, and it seems like it is still with their tank.
Yes, yeah.
So I think we may have to go to a pause to figure this out because there's some questions on whether they can sub someone else in. Um, so yeah, so let's go to a quick pause. We'll be right back. And we are back after the pause. They were able Odyssey was allowed to switch out their main tanks. They now have Xavier, EXE, and for Hailton, since he was having technical issues. But yeah, so we are getting right back into it here. Xavier EXE already on the field going at it. BMT was able to get that first cap there. And Xavier EXE coming in, swinging away at War and Peace right now. Xavier EXE is going to be going down to Deja Vu here. And so it is right now looking pretty good for VMT with Odyssey missing their main tank.
Yep, definitely it is. The trap from Deja Vu was able to make sure Xavier was able to get picked off early. Paradote also dying is also not going to be good here for Odyssey eSports. Nicole, let's use Kingler a little early.
Yeah, they just wanted to make sure that they could clean up the fight, make sure they win. But, you know, it could be a bit questionable, but it is one of the fastest building ults right now.
Yeah,
they are going to be decidedly winning that fight and setting up for next.
We're also seeing more switch over to the Diva as Odyssey Esports going to be trying to push in. A mid-shatter from Warren and a big from Xavier.
Yeah, Xavier EXE is going to be getting killed, but Deja swings back with a 2K with the tire. Pabone is getting killed with his ult as well. It's really going back and forth right now. I can't tell exactly who's going to win. We do have, I believe, 3 from either side. Actually, no, it's only 2 from Odyssey right now, but it is those tanks. Looks like they are slowly backing up and waiting for reinforcements right now. We do see the Moira and Hansa coming back onto the field, but Moira is going to be going down to Jackson on the Zarya. But Odyssey is pushing back in. The Diva is going to be going down. The grab gets thrown down from Jackson, and Warren is going to be swinging away and getting those kills, and this will be another fight win for VMT as the rest of Odyssey is trying to back out with their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. The grab there was pretty helpful from Jackson Moon. Warren Peace was able to build up halfway to his next shatter. He's going to almost have it here by this next fight. Xavier switching onto the ball and most likely in a desperation last-minute overtime touch. He will be able to touch before the timer depletes. All VMT's going right back to point.
Yeah, we're seeing dragons thrown down from both teams, intertwining their offensives. This is the only one that's going to get a kill there. But we did see Diva get a kill onto Reshkigal. Zebra Cookie firing back the kill onto offensive, but no one is on the point for Odyssey. It's we will be seeing the first point of Busan going to VMT.
Yeah, that just looked a little sloppy there from Odyssey Esports. Of course, Xavier here saying scuff map over, round. I mean, it was sort of scuffed there in the beginning, but regardless, VMT did put up a very good defense. Odyssey was trying to do really good attacks, but it just looked pretty rough there for the team. But regardless, now we head over to downtown. Of course, yes, downtown. Downtown is mainly favored as a dive map. It's going to be a question of whether VMT is willing to run the dive or if they're going to stick with this brawl. Swaps coming out on both sides. Odyssey Esports have the most of the swaps with the Winston, the Ashe, and the Widowmaker. On the side of VMT, they're keeping the same thing apart from Deja Vu and Offensive. They switch to DPS to McCree and Farah. Also, Kingler switching off to the Mercy.
Yeah, so I'm going to be excited to see how this Farm Mercy ends up faring versus the double hit scan there over on Odyssey. So we'll see how that ends up working out for them. Both these teams making it to point, starting to face off here. Winston dropping down onto the tank line for Vote Meme today. So far, no kills coming in. As I say, Zebra Cookie is going to be taking out Deja Vu. Will get immediately res back up, but Xavier actually going down. Zebra Cookie is popping off on that Widow, getting in wonderful 2K. Deja Vu is going to be getting a kill onto the Zarya for Odyssey. And it looks like this might go for VMT, but Odyssey still has a chance to recover it right now. As I say that, Jackson's getting a nice 2K. Zebra Cookie is getting those kills on the Widow, but the team just doesn't have enough of that frontline pressure to really be keeping any space.
Yeah, the biggest difference here between VMT's comp and Odyssey Esports comp is being able to keep a front line and keep composure onto a point. Odyssey's line is meant to be trying to bait out stragglers or anyone that seems to be out of position. But when you're on VMT, you're playing a brawl composition and are staying together and grouped up. It's not going to help for a dive attack. So it's going to be hard here for Odyssey Esports to try and adapt to this. But VMT, they're looking at a very comfortable position. Yeah,
right now we do see Zebra Cookie getting in another kill with the tail end of the sights there. So they are going to be down, VMT is going to be down 1 DPS for this push in. A huge anti coming out from Paradote. And Xavier EXE is going to be getting killed onto Warren, then Erishkigal is going to be going down. Makes use of the res onto Bone, and Xavier EXE boops someone off the map with the Primal. Great job from Odyssey right now, and they should be getting the point flip here.
Huge play there from Paradote to be able to hit that many people with the anti and be able to set up that push for Odyssey Esports, and especially also for Zebra Cookie to be able to pick off Deja Vu before that fight even began, making it so Odyssey was in a 6v5 situation. But regardless, now it's time for VMT to try to push back in. With this brawl style, it might be easier than expected. Bob comes in, Zebra Cookie dies.
Yeah, so it will be getting res back up, but offensive is really popping off. I was assuming they were gonna have issues pushing back in here, kind of getting more favored in the defense. We will see the grab coming down, immortality to help keep them alive. So not gonna be getting much value of that over there on Odyssey. The window is gonna be getting thrown down to give them some of the extra TPS. Xavier EXE kind of circumventing, going around up top. Offensive is gonna be taken down. The one who's able to get them some of those initial picks as the fight began. Kingler using the coalescence to get the kill onto more Neutron. Xavier EXE is going to be firing back the kill onto Primal. His kills are going, pretty back and forth, but looks like VMT is still staying pretty strong here. Xavier EXE taking out War and Peace. That could be a disaster for VMT, especially with the High Noon not getting any on Odyssey. It's really uphill battle, but they are going to be able to get the point flip despite the fact that Odyssey has gotten more kills here.
Yeah, Odyssey seems to have the player advantage, but VMT just being able to stabilize on the point better and being able to cap it. That being said, this might not be for long, as you can see VMT trying to run back, trying to make sure this point is kept as long as possible. The longer it is, the less progress that Odyssey eSports is going to be able to claim. With more kills coming in Odyssey's favor, though, that means they're probably going to get this point very quickly.
I mean, they were able to get, I think, about 30% off of that. They were at 51. They're now at 78. So it's still a very impressive play from VMT. You got a lot out of that fight. And it gives you one more just really good amount of time to attack the point again.
Yeah, you say a lot about a fight. One thing is very apparent. They did get out the nano boost from Paradox. So it's going to be very hard here for Odyssey eSports to be able to contest this, considering that they have VMT has a significant amount of ults online. They have the Shatter, they have the Dragon. It could mean for a very fast fight here.
Another grab screen coming down and another immortality field to help keep them safe.
Xavier has another Primal.
Yeah, but a decent Dynamite's going to be dropping onto VMT. The Dragon's going through. Deja Vu is going to be getting a kill onto Mixed on the Mercy there. And I do see, they're going to be moving in with a Coalescence, trying to get that extra healing in. Jackson taking out the enemy Zarya. Shatter really kind of landing on nothing there. But Offensive is going to be getting killed into Saber Cookie, and this is really going VMT's way. They just need that little bit of cleanup here. Both teams, I think, are going to be hitting 99-99 here. This is a very close downtown.
And no worries, that Shatter from Warren was just a zoning shatter. Mix falling late, though, is going to be bad here for the side of Odyssey eSports. In fact, Bone falling, too. This is looking disastrous here for Odyssey eSports. Xavier, once again, on the ball, trying to touch in OT. He will be able to touch, but I don't know if it's enough.
Yeah, VMT definitely has the advantage here, and it's kind of theirs to throw away right now. Odyssey just needs to keep touching. We do see another nice anti coming through, but is it really going to be enough? We do see Overtime taking down once again. Dragons are going to be zoning people off the point, but we do see 3 Odyssey players right now, but they are all going to be getting grabbed, which is going to make it really easy to clean them up there. And I think we just, yeah, it's going to be all gone from Odyssey, and VMT is going to be going 2-0 here on Busan, looking really good at the start.
Yeah, it looked pretty rough there for Odyssey eSports there on that point. They were able to do they're able to do sort of good, but they had a lot of problems there, not just stemming from their main tank problems at the beginning of the first map. It seemed like they had some coordination problems, it seemed like they had some working problems, but then again, they do have a ringer here on the main tank, so it makes a lot of sense that they may be having these problems early on. So regardless, they get the next map choice. They'll be able to choose what we go to next for Escorts. So it's going to be interesting to see what they choose to try and counter VMT's style.
Yeah, I mean, so if you're Odyssey, from what you've seen so far, obviously you don't know all the ins and outs of Odyssey eSports, but where would you recommend they go? Because we have the options of Dorado, Havana, or Watchpoint Gibraltar. All can be good, Widow maps, good dive maps. So they're not actually that different in terms of what you play there, but what are you thinking in terms of map pick?
Well, from what we saw from VMT, their dive seems to struggle the most out of any composition I feel like they've run so far. Their brawl looks solid. Their spam we haven't seen because spam is irrelevant. Now we actually do get the map choice. I was going to say they should probably go to Watchpoint Gibraltar, so they're going to be running full dive, but no, we are going to Havana for the next map.
Yeah, I'm, looking forward to the DPS battles here. I mean, we were seeing Zebra Cookie doing really well on that Widow, and Widow is really good on Havana, in especially points A and point C. So I'm definitely excited. We also saw Offensive doing a lot of work on the Hanzo. We haven't really seen a Widow come out this match, and I'm trying to particularly remember a Widow on VMT. But you correct me if I'm wrong.
The only person I feel like that would be good on the Widow is offensive because he has been ripping through the entire every team on that Hanzo. Definitely feel like he could be able to play a Widow, but yeah, definitely a good choice by Odyssey Esports to be able to use the Widow here and Zebra Cookie. We saw Zebra Cookie clicking a lot of heads there on Busan downtown, so it makes a lot of sense. We do see a sub coming in here, or a swap coming in for here for Odyssey Esports. Paradroid is being subbed in for Mix. So it's going to be interesting to see what this support change might have in store here for Odyssey.
Yeah, and so I know Mix is playing some Mercy and some Moira, so I'm going to be interesting to see what changes we might see coming in with Paradroid here.
Yeah,
but
according to Paradroid's hero pool, he plays BAP and Lucio according to this. So most likely it's just to have a more BAP or more brawly sort of composition to run with. Mix, of course, was playing a lot of at Mercy, so it might make a lot more sense to put in Paradroid for this next map.
Yeah, for sure. So we are going to be seeing Odyssey starting on the defense, and Vote Moon today is going to be starting on the attack. Do you think Odyssey Esports is going to go for that really aggressive, close hold on point A?
No. I mean, they might be able to because Zebra Cookie's running Zebra Cookie might be able to stay back on the Widow, so maybe they would be able to play that brawly style with having Zebra Cookie in the back, but I feel like they're going to be playing a more passive style just because they want to try to protect Zebra Cookie and make sure he can get as much value as possible out of that Widow.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. We are going to be seeing the actual answer of what these teams are going to be running as we are not going to get started here in a minute because VMT needs a second longer.
Offensive seems to just be doing something off screen. We don't know what is actually going on, but it might just be like a bathroom break, snack break. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, we'll see how it's going to be going on here in this next map.
So do you think we're going to be seeing anything else interesting coming out of the tank line here for Vote Meme today? Because they do still have both of those main tank players in. And how do you think Jackson Zarya was going? Since he's known for being a main tank.
Jackson Zarya did seem really good. I mean, on the reference sheet that we have, he's listed mainly as a flex tank. His heroes are Sigma and Zarya. I felt like his Zarya was really strong. I need to still see something that convinces me this is why they wanted to put in Jackson other than keyframe. So we'll have to see what the decision is as we head over to Havana.
Yeah, there may be some like kind of background issues going on, maybe internet, but I was actually looking at Jackson's career profile. Actually, a lot of Zarya on there. Yeah, it's just Jackson's kind of generally known this season as a main tank, but clearly has that history on off tank.
Absolutely, having people who can flex onto both main tank and off tank can be a very vital resource, because if you have like one off tank player, one main tank player, and one player that can flex onto both, if one of those tank players is gone, boop, put the other person on the tank role. So it could definitely be really helpful. Now, coming out with the composition to Odyssey Esports, they are looking to run that double shield brawl composition. Of course, Sigma Ryan, mostly known for a brawl. Bone coming out on the Symmetra is pretty interesting, though.
Yeah, for sure. And you said they weren't going to go for that aggressive hold, but we see the team is going to be sneaking around here. They may be using the teleporter so that they can bail out of an aggressive hold. So they're kind of going for it, but not fully committing with that teleporter.
Yeah, absolutely. That's most likely what they're going to be doing here. On the side of VMT, they are going to be coming out with a Ryan Zarya brawl, Hanzo Tracer on the DPS line. So it's going to be interesting to see what the reaction is here from Odyssey when they see this tank line and DPS line. Ward's just going in there, though.
Yeah, they're coming out swinging. Zebra Cookie is going to get the first pick onto Deja. And so, it's kind of just one, but it's, really short respawns. It's not going to mean a whole lot in the terms of this. They're kind of just backing up and getting a bit less aggressive because they have less DPS, but they can still kind of be at least partially in here. But they are kind of taking the choice to go back to spawn, especially with Deja getting killed on Reaper now instead of the Tracer that we saw her come out with.
In spawn as well, Deja got killed in spawn. That's a little rough. But what I find interesting here is the angle that Zebra Cookie seems to be taking. He's taking such an aggressive angle here on this Widowmaker. most Widowmakers would usually just go to the backline, but Zebra is almost with the rest of his team. So very interesting approach here from Odyssey.
Yeah, Jackson was able to get a kill onto Mora Neutron, but Zebra Cookie's kind of firing back. Kingler's going to be able to get a kill onto Bone Offensive with a kill onto Peridot. So this is looking to go VMT's way because they have those shorter spawns. So any kills they get onto Odyssey are going to be more valuable than kills Odyssey gets onto VMT. So they are going to be able to continue pushing here. Xavier EXE and Zebra Cookie pretty much the only ones that were still alive over there on Odyssey.
Yeah, absolutely. A good aggression there from VMT to be able to push in. They did use the coalescence there in order to push in, but regardless, it still got them this far. They only have almost 2 more corners to pass through, and then the first point of Havana is theirs. But on the side of Odyssey, you do have that Earth Shatter, which can be a huge impact ultimate if it lands onto several people. We saw Xavier's Earth Shatter last time on Havana hit a lot of people.
Yeah,
well, you know what? Here, yes, it does.
Beat to help keep them alive. We are seeing the Dragons come through. Zebra Cookie getting a nice 2K, and that Grab Dragons was not able to really get anything. The Flux is going to be getting some kills here as well. This is pretty hard going for Odyssey. VMT did invest 2 ults there, but we're not really able to get anything out of them. And Odyssey using 2 ults of their own, able to win the fight.
3 ults actually from the side of Odyssey, but it still
does
make a very good point. They use Shatter, they use Flux, and they did use the B to counter the Grab Dragon. But still, really good job by all of the team members to be able to rack in a very good way with those ultimates. Peridot dying, though, is not good for this next defense.
Offensive was not happy about that beat and decided to take Peridot out. And they're going to be continuing to get the kills here. Zebra Cookie firing back with kill into Jackson, though, trying to help keep things alive for Odyssey. Getting another kill into Reshkigal. And so this is evening things up quite a bit. Offensive taking Zebra Cookie out, though. And so I think with that, it kind of puts a bit of a nail in the coffin for Odyssey's defense here on point A. Xavier is going to help putting up the fight.
He does get Ward.
He does get 2K. They will cap, though. They will cap. But they are able to get the fight win, which at least stops Vote today's momentum as they come into B. So it was not, you know, all for nothing there. Those kills were pretty valuable here, and just being able to cancel a team's momentum can be more important than people think.
Absolutely. Being able to stop them right here, right now is very good. Again, I like this aggressive angle here from Zebra Cookie. It is a very risky angle, but can do a lot for any sort of team. Being able to take an aggressive angle on this Widow, get more sight lines, do really good. But yeah, so far, Odyssey eSports being able to hold them here. Sights coming out. That's a big slurp from Xavier.
Yeah, doing really well here. But it's 1 kill for either side right now, so it's actually still pretty even here. Zebra Cookie is going to be getting that kill onto Offensive, which takes out the DPS for Vote Meme today. And so it looks like this will be Odyssey kind of holding this, at least temporarily, as Vote Meme today regroups.
Yeah, Vote Meme today are just not able to aggress here onto Odyssey eSports. Odyssey are taking such aggressive hold here on Havana, and BMT is just unable to push through it. So great job here by Odyssey to be able to hold here. However, they are down in the ult economy by a lot. So
yeah, it's going to be kind of missing Shattered there. Deja also not getting along with the death loss, and Bone was able to get a kill into Offensive and Moria Neutron with a kill into Deja. Since the DPS gone for Vote Meme today, they are going to be investing the Flux there. Warren was able to get a kill into Peridot, so Vote Meme today is still in this. They're pushing the cart now and using the Coalescence to help, you know, secure a fight win here. Kind of trying to chase them off, keep team members alive, and they are able to get the kill into Moria Neutron and continue their progress here with the cart.
Yeah, Odyssey eSports is going to have 1 more contest here, maybe not with Mornatron. So it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to engage on this. Mornatron is going to be coming late to the fight. They do have the window and beat and dragons here for this next fight. So a combination of those might be able to save them if they can touch the point and not C9 again.
Yeah, we do see Xavier getting first kill onto the Junkrat. Boom with the follow kill onto Jackson. Dragon's coming out from Offensive now, but Xavier is going to be getting those kills, and this is definitely going to be going towards Odyssey. We have 1 minute 20 seconds on the clock to capture a point B for Vote today.
And once again, the ultimates of Jackson and Offensive were used together and negated by Peridot's beat. So great job there by Peridot again to build up another beat to be able to keep the team alive in a high ult situation. Now, if you're Vote Meme today, you probably only have 1 more fight to push in. You do have Warren Shatter. We probably might be able to see a big Shatter there, but on the other side, Xavier does have his. So it's going to be interesting to see here what the basically response is from both of these teams, and if VMT will be able to push the cart through point B.
If they're getting set up to push high ground here, Deja with the first kill onto Peridot. We do see Warren kind of coming in, swinging, looking to land a shatter. With Xavier Ixie split up from his team, he actually is able to get a shatter onto Warren. And so he's going to be able to take out Warren. Warren could have maybe had to pull off a good shatter if they were able to kind of put enough pressure onto Xavier, but Xavier kind of pulling the trigger first, and that is going to be winning the fight for his team. And with only 16 seconds, the best they can do is stall this out for VMT.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Xavier actually went behind where VMT was, like on the other side of that doorway, and ended up shattering Warren from behind when his shield wasn't there. Warren's shatter won't get a lot, and now it's just stall efforts here for Odyssey eSports, or not for Odyssey, for VMT to try and get anywhere with this card.
Yeah, but it looks like they're not going to have much success. Just a Tracer floating around. We do see the Genji coming in, but it's not going to be able to get anything. Tracer is still alive, and Odyssey just not able to clean her up right now. We do now see the Baptiste and the Winston coming in. Deja is going to be finally going down along with the Rush Gall. And Warren going down as well, just the Wrecking Ball here, and I imagine they're going to be able to clean him up pretty quickly. But, you know, who knows, we do see the Coalescence coming in as well. Kingler is going to be dropping along with Jackson. They're going to finally be finishing the round here, stopping Votemium today on point B.
Yeah, there was really good defense there from Odyssey eSports. They did take a lot of risk, a lot of, like, aggression I've been seeing from this team, and I've really been enjoying it. Really, you don't see a lot of teams hold this aggressive, these styles on Havana. You most likely see them try to go for a high ground push or be able to try and hold for a later push. No, Odyssey eSports are in your face aggressive, and they want to make sure that that cart moves nowhere. So great job there from Odyssey eSports to push in. VMT, though, you have to be pretty proud about where you pushed it to. You did push it to point B. It is still very winnable here for VMT. So we're going to see what VMT decides to come out here on the defense. Most likely they'll be running something in the aggressive sort of style so they can try to hold them at the doors.
Yeah, it's something I think is just kind of interesting with the main tanks here. They do have a little bit of history, which I think is just mainly interesting because Warren is someone who's been generally pretty good at blocking shatters, has been missing a lot, Xavier landing a lot of shatters, and Warren not getting much value. So I think it's just kind of interesting because they do have that bit of history behind them. But so we are going to be seeing the comps get set up here. So I'm curious what your thoughts on what we have so far.
Yeah, so far I feel like most of the things are very like set in stone. Zebra Cookies Widowmaker is very well known. He's been popping off on that role all day. VMT, of course, taking the aggressive approach with a lot of brawly heroes. The only brawly hero, the only hero in that entire comp I would say is not that brawly is the McCree. But other than that, you're pretty much good on VMT's aggression. But they're not going as aggressive as they really should be, and that means that Odyssey might be able to push this card to the first corner.
Yeah, especially since you basically need to hold them on point A. You'd want as many fights as you can get, and that's why teams go for such an aggressive hold, is to get an extra fight on this point. And we will see more Neutron with the first kill onto Deja. And so it's looking really good for Odyssey right now within the second kill onto Warren Peace, and that's basically it for this fight. For Votemium today, they need to pull back and see if they can regroup for a second fight here. But with offensive going down a bit later, I'm not really seeing that's possible. Arishkagol kind of going towards the point to die. So they will need a very fast regroup to get the touch here on point A.
Yeah, Mornitron actually has almost full charge there within 30 seconds of the match, and it's showing that Mornitron's bubble usage is doing actually pretty good so far. Jackson Moon on the other side, they do have full charge right now, but they might not have when the push was going on. Now VMT trying to push in another big slam from Xavier.
Yeah, and we are going to be seeing that window as well. It's putting that extra damage to help clean the fight. Warren does get the kill onto Xavier, and following it up with the kill onto Paradroid. We will be seeing Paradroid get res, but a shatter is going to be coming out there from Warren. Is not going to be able to get enough for his team, as it looks like Odyssey will be able to cap here. Just need to clean up Kingler, and the point is going to be theirs. They were really just able to pull out more kills in that fight.
Yeah, the only person Warren Shatter did connect with onto was Bone, and Kingler was the only person there doing damage onto Bone on that Hanzo. So kind of rough there for VMT. I feel like they want that Shatter back for this next fight. But now Odyssey eSports, they are looking in a very comfortable position, but anything can happen. VMT could pull a miracle right now and be able to stall this point for the next 4 minutes.
Yeah, it will have to be a really strong defense from VMT to hold this for 4.5 minutes. You really don't see a lot of that here, just such a long hold. But Vote today could pull it off if they, pull out some really perfect gameplay. We will be seeing them get grabbed and dragon, and it's really not looking like that's what we're going to be getting. And I think at most, again, we're just kind of left with a stall fight for VMT if they're able to really get anything at all, because they just have, some 2 quick corners to round, and this map is going to be going to Odyssey.
Deja Vu has already switched over to the Tracer. You know that BMT might be in panic mode right now. Mornitron is trying to get some charge off for his next grab. So it's going to be interesting. And offensive bolt early to bone. That's not good for BMT. And
Xavier Cookie getting the kill onto a rescue call. Xavier Cookie getting another kill. Xavier getting kill. It's just VMT is not going to be able to do anything here. They do throw down the grab, but they have no one to capitalize on it. With Jackson going down, Deja was really just trying to stall the cart there, and we will be seeing Havana going the way of Odyssey eSports. So it is now currently 1-1 Odyssey eSports versus VMT. I mean, this is the scoreline I want to be seeing between these two teams. A really close matchup. I think either of these teams, there's almost like an ebb and flow going on. It's going to be map dependent. It's going to be just dependent on how well they're feeling at that particular moment, because we saw a really good performance from VMT on Busan, but a really good performance from Odyssey here at VMT looking a bit sloppier. So I definitely think anything is possible as this match goes on.
Yeah, anything is possible. We do have a match here. Both of these teams play different styles. Both of these teams feel like they should be able to react to each other. So it's going to be interesting to see here which one of these teams does come on top, because I feel like these two teams are very equal in skill here. That first map might have been a fluke just because Xavier was just integrated to the team and they need to work around him. But regardless, really good job by Odyssey Esports and Voltbeam today to bring it to a 1-1 scoreline. So we'll see what happens, as it's going to be Voltbeam today's hybrid map pick. So we'll see what they decide to pick.
Yeah, we will be going to a 5-minute halftime, so hang in there. So we will be back soon, and we'll get to see, which of these teams is going to be able to pull out this win. Joey. welcome back. It is Odyssey eSports versus Vote Meme today. It is currently 1-1 in this fight for 5th place, essentially, which is a fight to get into the playoffs. This is a very important match. Both these teams really trying their hearts out tonight. And we're going to be going into King's Row next. So, Bowsy, can you kind of tell us what's been going on in this matchup and what we can expect to see going forward?
Definitely. Odyssey eSports have been playing this extremely aggressive style so far this match. It didn't really work too well on Busan, but when they went to Havana, they exploited it to the max and were able to keep Vote Meme today as far away from getting the completion on that map as possible. They ended up taking Havana and tying up the series here 1-1. Vote Meme today, they've been struggling in some parts, but they still have had those bright moments. Offensive has been doing really good job on that hit scan roll. We've been seeing a lot of good healing plays. It's really just been up and down, but for the most part, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and we do have Hamilton back over on Odyssey eSports. He had to leave the first map, and Xavier Ixie was allowed to sub in on that map. But Xavier Ixie is now back out, and we are going to be seeing Hamilton back and actually seeing what he can do on this main tank. I think it's going to be interesting to see how that matchup plays out here in King's Row. Because we've been seeing some interesting things in the past maps, so I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely, and of course, Vote Meme today are keeping with that same tank line, Jackson Moon and War and Peace. Personally, I haven't been seeing a lot of impressive things from the tank lines so far, but they could surprise me. War and Peace is a very good main tank, I can tell you that. Jackson Moon, we saw him with a really good Winston performance. We don't know his flex tank performance as much, so we'll have to see what happens as we get started here on King's Row. Surprise, surprise, on the side of Odyssey, there is a Widowmaker in play.
Yeah, no surprise, really. I'm with Zebra's Cookie's performance. You cannot argue against that. It could be the least Widow map possible. I'd still be like, hey, dude, if you want to run it, man, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. And Zebra Cookie, it seems interesting how Zebra Cookie does play this Widowmaker. Like we saw on Havana, he was taking a lot of aggressive angles. So maybe we won't be seeing that much on King's Row because this is mainly a brawl map. But still, keep an eye out on Zebra Cookie to make sure he's not taking any of those aggressive angles. On the side of Vote Meme today, though, we see Teleporter Bastion strat. We saw this yesterday when they were, or on Friday when they were playing. Yeah, on Friday, technically yesterday's yesterday, when they played against Talonfire. Not a lot of success, but we'll see if it has any success here.
They did win the fight.
They did win the fight, that's true, but they did have some big weaknesses coming in.
Yeah,
but
it didn't go amazingly, but if you win the fight, you can't argue against it, and they are going to be getting that initial kill onto Paradroid. So right now, it's starting to look pretty decent for Vote Meme today. If they get started, they do need to keep getting those kills, and they do onto Paradroid and Zebra Cookie as well. So it's looking really good, and they just need to get these last 3 kills, and they get the main tank. They just need to get that off tank and Bone, and they will be good to go. Bone gets to kill into offensive. But they are looking pretty good to cap to this point, unless Bone is good for a 1v5, which, you know, I'm sure he's impressive, but I don't think he's quite that impressive. And he will be just kind of continuing to exit out here, going 1 foot away from War and Peace and living there.
Yeah. Unfortunate, but I did like blink and you miss it moment there. I thought they were going to be teleporting all the teams to point, but no, they teleported to where Zebra Cookie was and just ended his existence there. Zebra Cookie has switched off to the Junkrat now, and that's going to be impactful. Warren is trapped right now, right in the lines of Odyssey, and survives somehow.
Yeah, he is kind of in their backline behind their main tank. Warren is going to be able to take Warren out, but defensive does get killed into Zebra Cookie. It is kind of currently 1v1, but you're missing the main tank there over on Vote Meme today, which is a pretty essential piece if you want to make any real progress. They are going to be slowly backing out, waiting for Warren, and he is going to be coming out of spawn now, and so they are going to be able to start to push back in here.
Yeah, and Deja Vu actually with a reactionary swap, she has noticed that there is absolutely no hit scan on the side of Odyssey, and it switched over to Vara.
Yeah, there's going to be another missed shatter there from War and Peace, and it's going to be falling to Paradroid. The Dragon did get thrown out from Bone. Not really getting anything significant there, but it does look like it kind of will be VMT being forced to kind of continue not making progress here. Bone is going to be taking out Deja Vu, because while you said there's no hit scan, Hanzo can kind of act like a hit scan in some ways, taking out Vara's.
Yep, very interesting how Bone is able to get that pick off. Obviously, Deja is playing this Pharah. Feels like there's no like hit scan the enemy team, but nope. Bone reminds her that yes, Hamza is sort of hit scan. Flux coming out here early from Jackson Moon.
And it doesn't look like it hit anyone there, and it's going to be a Flux coming out from more Neutron as well, and it's going to be getting a lot more value offense. It does get down to Paradroid, but it's really going to go all Odyssey with a 3K just to finish it off from Zebra Cookie. Great job there, proving that, you know, he's not only good on that Widow, he can pull out off a nasty Junkrat as well.
They waited for Erish's MO field to go down there so Zebra Cookie could get that 3K. Really good job there from Zebra to be able to be that patient. However, now we have a problem. Odyssey eSports has no ults online. The only ult they really are about to have is that Dragon, and they're going up to the high ground to try and get that Zebra Cookie off, which they will be able to do. So now VMT has the high ground, but that doesn't matter when Kingler's dead.
Yeah, but it's gonna be a pick on the Kingler, and it looks like they're just kind of backing up and waiting. What do we need to see out of VMT to get the fight going their way?
We just need to see more aggression. They haven't been aggressive and offensive, taking a little seat there, obviously, waiting here for Kingler to come back. But yeah, there hasn't been that much aggression here from VMT. Whenever they try to push in, they just aren't together and they're dying. So I mean, they need to start being more
I think there is aggression, they just lose someone immediately, so it's hard to be aggressive after that.
Yeah, true. I mean, you do make a valid point here, but it just means that they need to try and protect their backline, which obviously is not working too well with Warren and Erish falling.
And another tire coming out from Zebra Cookie. He's going to be getting destroyed by the Coalescence that Kingler pulled out during that fight. Jackson getting kill on Bone. This may kind of be starting to get the openings that they need over there for VMT. Obviously, you're still 5 strong there on Odyssey, but they could be able to come back here. Warren is currently trapped, but they'll be able to push back in here in a second. Assuming they don't immediately lose someone, maybe they can get a pick here and actually start to get some progress. The Flux is coming out, Scatter's not really going to be hitting anyone. Kill for either side, Warren and Peridot going down. A Paradroid getting a nice 2K, not something you see from a support too often there. BMT is able to get, you know, a couple of feet of progress, but I think they're still going to be losing this year.
Yeah, when you're down one of your healers, it's probably going to be impactful to try and stay back, but obviously this is not the case for Odyssey Esports. They're still pushing in and they're still using ults.
Yeah, and it's working out for them. They're continuing to get those kills. The tire's not going to be getting anything, but it puts enough pressure there to kind of encourage them to back out even faster. Yeah, so it's just really not looking great for VMT. They do have a number of ults coming up, so we'll see if they can make any use of those. So I think that's really what's going to be able to come down to, is whether they can get the value from their ults, because we've been seeing them not get the value they need. Deja is going to be getting an initial kill into Bone, which could help them push in. You see the Flux is going to be coming out, does actually catch 3. The Nano's going to be falling onto Zebra Cookie, and the Coalescence also is going to be coming out. Not a lot of actual kills, and there's a shatter from Warren. That's what we like to see, and they are going to be getting kills. Zebra Cookie will kill Deja with the Death Mines, but the VMT will be able to continue pushing here on point B. There is still going to be one last fight here before they get the cap, assuming Odyssey is quick on their feet.
In the chat, Zebra types got junk as he runs back in response. But yeah, good aggression there from VMT with those ults. They will still have the tire and the window, and Bone is actually swapped off to the Ash. Warren is a little too aggressive when he falls.
Yep, still a good chance here from VMT to use that tire running around. I'm not sure if it's going to be able to actually catch anyone. Does catch Paradroid in the back line. The Shatter is going to be falling. And it does catch 2 over on VMT, but the kills are going to be going towards Vote Me today right now. And it looks like this will be pretty cleaned up for them. They just need to take out the Lucio, and point B cap will be theirs. And they'll be able to continue going here. You do actually need to kill that Lucio at some point, though, and they finally get the kill. Jackson having enough of it. And so they're going to be moving on to point C. I really kind of was expecting this from what we were seeing initially on point B, but they were able to make it here.
Yeah, definitely really good job here from VMT to get here. That's a big flux from Mordo.
Huge flux. Not actually securing any kills, but Zebra Cookie's there to finish everybody off with a beautiful 4K. Zebra Cookie, really, it does not matter if the character has aim or not, he will get you kills.
That, I believe, was either a 4 or 5K from Zebra Cookie.
It was 4K there.
Yeah, my God.
I don't think I've seen someone pop off on Widow and then Junkrat in such a short time span. They're such different heroes, but he's pulling it off.
Yeah, Zebra Cookie has been pretty much the MVP of Odyssey eSports so far this match, and you gotta give kudos to him. But regardless, VMT, they still have 30 seconds to push. They will have some ult online. Air stalling early is not good though.
Yeah, we do have the Coalescence and Data coming out. Bone will be going down there. We did see the window coming out, and the Shatter is going to be doing good there. And that's just going to be going the way of Odyssey. But keep in mind, Deja Vu was able to get the kill with the Deathmatch onto Hilton. And I think if Offensive hadn't died there, they would have kind of had the people there to push out. We are at 14 seconds, so there's not a lot of time for Vote Moon today here to make this. We do get the touch here from Jackson Moon. And there are some people left. We do see the tire is going to be coming out from both the Junkrats now. We'll see which one's able to get more kills. Zebra Cookie with 2, and really it's going Odyssey's way. I don't think Deja was really able to get anything there with the tire. Yeah, it was destroyed. And it looks like the Boom is not really going to be able to keep this going. Jackson is still alive, though, so there is hope, but Jackson's going to be falling to the Bob. And I think that is as far as Vote Me today is going to be pushing it here on Kings Row. Still a pretty decent push, but we're going to have to see a very strong defense come out from them if they would like to take Kings Row for their own.
Yep, it's going to be close here for VMT, but still really good card progress they made there. You may have heard me say, oh, Warren, during that fight somewhere. It was because Warren got shattered, and because of the momentum of his jump movement, he ended up falling right down into the pit on Kings Row.
Yeah, I hate to see it.
F's in the chat for War and Peace, please. But yeah, really good job there from Odyssey eSports to be able to delay that push and be able to make them stop right there. Odyssey really has been able to dictate the aggression, I feel like, and it's just been costing VMT so many pushes and fights. So it's looking rough here for VMT, but there always is a chance. There's never a chance. There's never an opportunity where it's not possible to win. They are going to be coming out this time with Deja Vu on the Widowmaker. So it's going to be interesting to see here. And the last minute swap, Offensive actually going over to the Junkrat.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what's actually going to be. I kind of end up going down, and what we're able to see VMT maybe bring back in this matchup, because I do want to see a good defense out of them, because I want this match to go to a map 5 if possible. Map 6s are also possible. I love those long matchups, dude. They're so exciting, and I'm always on the edge of my seat. But right now, Odyssey's just looking so dominant. And I want DMT to come back, even if Odyssey does end up taking the win.
Yeah, it's going to be close here. Warren obviously trying to get a little bit of aggression here, Hilton. But
ooh, Zebra Cookie with the kill out to Kingler. Looking good, as always, on that DPS position. And they are still holding out right now, but with Deja and Warren going down, I mean, point A is going to be going to Odyssey eSports. They took that really strong. What Odyssey's really excelling at is those initial picks, because they lose someone important on VMT, and then they just aren't able to hold out versus Odyssey. And so it's really kind of the DPS being the star players there on Odyssey eSports.
Kingler, barely almost getting staggered there. So great job by Kingler to be able to escape. But the good news is, for VMT, you have all 6 people got short spawn, and you just picked off Zebra Cookie. So maybe a time for VMT to get a little bit of aggressive here, so they can try to push up with the rest of their team. War and Peace trying to dictate that aggression up to the bookstore onto Hailton. So we'll see what the aggression level here for VMT is.
Yeah, right now they're just kind of holding at that corner, keeping that in mind, trying to get this pick. We do see a shatter onto 1, but it's going to be a bigger shatter coming out from Hailton. And they are able to get more kills there. Warren was able to get a kill onto Bone, but I don't think it's going to be enough, especially with Warren going down. The tire was destroyed from offensive there. We do see the windows going to be coming out for VMT, but it's a bit kind of back. And we do see the Flux is going to be coming out. Looks like it's going to get a lot of value, but Zebra Cookie does pick on Deja Vu. Hilton will be going down, yeah, offensive getting a nice 2K there. I think it's going to bring it back for VMT. And so they will be holding this here. Offensive doing a really good job on that Junkrat.
Offensive has decided to put Odyssey eSports through Offensive's Junkrat Academy after Zebra Cookie was doing so well on that first point. But really good job here from VMT to be able to stabilize after what looked like a very rough situation, especially losing their main tank early. But if you are Odyssey eSports, you have a lot of resources and a lot of ways you can win this fight.
Yep, the Flux Dragons coming out is going to be grabbing a nice 2K there for Odyssey. as this fight's looking like it's definitely going to be going their way, and they're going to be able to continue here on point B. They just have such a great time bank here, and I think as soon as they get that cap, which is kind of the amount of time they have, it's looking really good for them right now. We need to see some, really great plays coming out here from BMT if they want to stay alive.
Yeah, well, that's not one of them. Offensive gets
Yep.
picked up by Zebra Cookie. And Zebra Cookie again gets another kill on a Kingler. Zebra Cookie, please! We're trying to talk! We need people to talk in this match!
Dude, Zebra Cookie doesn't care. He's just getting all those picks.
Oh, but Deja finds the kill.
Ooh. That could be kind of the opening they need, taking away the pressure of Zebra Cookie, but they aren't able to get the contest, but they may be able to hold this here. 5 minutes to push it about 20 meters. Deja does get the kill onto Bone, so VMT definitely has a chance coming through here. Huge slam that got nearly everyone on the team that was, able to be gotten, and they're getting the kills off. And Zebra Cookie still gets a kill onto offensive anyway, but they will be winning the fight over there on VMT. And Odyssey's going to be heading back to the spawn room. 4 minutes 30 on the clock.
Yep, they did. Odyssey, you probably do have some ults pushing into it. They're already pushing it already. I probably want you to do the casting right here for the play-by-play. It's about to get nasty.
It definitely is. We're going to be seeing the windows coming out from both teams. The visors also coming out from both teams. Shadows going down. More Neutron takes Jackson Moon off of the map. The Tire's going to be getting Bone. The Flux gets thrown down, and we see Hilton charging into the backline onto Rescue Call. Dace, if it gets killed into Peridot. And so it is really kind of going for either team here as both teams continue to get killed. Both main tanks are officially down for both teams. We do see about 2 people here for Odyssey, and it is just 2 people here for VMT as well. The Flux is going to be coming out, which could definitely keep them alive here, and it's looking good for VMT to hold this. But now with the main tank for Odyssey coming back, this could be a tough one, as it's going to be a bit longer for Warren to come back. Hilton gets killed into Jackson Moon. The boot from Reshigal could bring it back totally for VMT right now, as Hilton's going to be going down. Warren immediately getting killed as soon as he shows his face on point, though. It is definitely going back and forth right now. Odyssey has more players right now, and it's really on Deja and Reshigal to keep this alive. Deja and Offensive is going to be coming in now along with the ball. Jackson Moon is also here to stay alive on the point. Offensive does fall to more Neutron there. I do think I see Warren charging back in. Bone's going to get killed into Deja, and Warren P's immediately going down again. Warren P's and Kingler are going to be falling, and this is going to be going the way of Odyssey here on Kings Row. It is now 2-1 Odyssey eSports versus Vote Meme today. Can Vote Meme today bring it back in the 4th map, which is going to be Assault? We shall see. Jackson does get the play of the game here with the Sigma. Was not enough to win the map, though.
Yeah, it looked very rough there for both sides, but they were able to make it through. Very scrappy fight, I noticed, through that entire thing. And also, I want to point out, Bone ended up switching off to the Genji near the end of that. He built up the blade through that entire fight and used it at the end. So if that doesn't dictate how much was going on in that fight, I don't know what does. But yeah, really good effort by both teams to be able to contest it. There were a lot of shining moments there for Vote Meme today. It just wasn't enough, though. They were just getting out staggered. They did not have the good spawns. It was rough there. But regardless, Odyssey eSports, you're going into this next map, one more map, and you win the series. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens on map 4.
Yeah, so I mentioned how it's really the early picks that are winning it for Odyssey right now. How do you play against that? Other than just, watching your corners, but, eventually you do need to move. How do you protect against those early picks?
It's really challenging in terms of, being able to try and match the aggression. Obviously, the main thing to do is to just be aggressive yourself, or try to, be more passive, or make sure the aggression gets out by you first, because Odyssey eSports seems to be dictating the fight just because they're starting with the aggression. They're always getting that first pick. They're always pushing in first. They're always doing something to initiate their aggression early. And it's sort of in that sort of sense that Vote Meme today is just unable to counter it. But it seems like Vote Meme today is going to try to make some swaps in for their assault map. Keyframe is coming back in for War and Peace. War and Peace has to go deliver a gift for his mother for her birthday. So happy birthday, Warren's mother. And we're also going to be seeing Storm come in for Offensive.
Yes. So, what map do you think we're going to be seeing? What map would you recommend to Vote Meme today for this assault? I don't quite remember the pool for it. I think it is Hanamura, Volskaya, and you're gonna have to fill me on that last one. I'm not remembering it right now.
Yeah, the main maps we usually see are Anubis, Volskaya, and Hanamura. I feel like both in today with subbing in keyframe, they might want to try to go for a more let's say dive style, because Jackson Moon is mainly known for running that monkey. Um, it might just depend. They might put Jackson Moon on that rhyme, but feel like they're going to be going for more of a dive style. So we might see something like Anubis here for our next map. We could see something wacky from either team. We could be seeing Volskaya, we could be seeing Anubis, or we could be seeing Hanamura with any sort of composition they want to run. But for the most part, we're probably going to be seeing dive, and we might be going to the most dive-oriented map of those three, which is Anubis, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. You can even play some good dive on defense for point A. I mean, you see people pull out the Winstons there. But I think the thing you got to worry about with Anubis is it can be really good for Widow.
Yeah,
so honestly,
that's a big worry there, because you do have Zebra Cookie on an enemy team. He has been clicking heads like
and
nuts.
Junkrat. It's also great for Junkrat.
Yeah,
I mean,
all of the assault maps are pretty much good for either Widow or Junkrat, so you're not going to win either way. Hanamura is probably best.
I would say Hanamura is not great for Widow as far as I know.
But it's good for Junkrat.
It is good for Junkrat. I mean, all of them are going to be good for Junkrat, but I think Zebra Cookie is far more terrifying on the Widow. Zebra Cookie has really great tires, but I think through normal gameplay is putting more pressure on with that Widow.
Yeah, you do make an interesting point here. Most of the big things we've been seeing from Zebra Cookie on that junk were from rip tires. So if you are built mean today and you want to try to run a risky strategy and make sure that you restrict Zebra off of that Widowmaker, go to Hanamura, put him on that Junkrat, and try to make sure he doesn't get as much value, because Zebra Cookie's Widowmaker has been the carry potential. His Rip Tires have been the carry potential, but Rip Tire is a 100 health fast-moving target that literally anyone can be able to shoot down and break. We saw it be broken by a freaking Coalescence, for crying out loud. So it is possible that they might want to try to go to Hanamura so they can try to force Zebra Cookie off of that Widow pick and onto the Junkrat.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, this between these maps is taking quite a while here, and now the map has switched over to Paris, which is not in the map pool. Thankful, everyone is pretty thankful for that one right now.
I mean, yeah, Paris is not a very good map. We know it's not a good map. No one wants to play it. Kingler's actually okay with it, so maybe Vote Meme today might be playing on Paris.
Yeah, I think we can't quite allow that one. We've already had one slight partial rule violation so far, so I think we're gonna be playing by the book for the rest here.
Yeah, it does feel like we're gonna be playing by the rule book. So we'll see if we go to Hanamura, Anubis, or Volskaya here. Vote Meme today, obviously they're trying to get talking with their coaches. But while we're here, I mean, so far we've been seeing a lot of different styles. Which one do you feel like Vote Meme today would be able to strive the best on? Do you feel like they'd be able to strive on this Sprawl style, or do you feel like it's time for them to switch it up?
I think arguments can be made for both. I mean, because the one map we saw them win is kind of all we have to go off of right now was when they were playing Brawl. So I almost want to say go with that, but they're playing Brawl the rest of the maps that they lost. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I think an argument can definitely be made for dive, especially with the tank lineup switch. Maybe Jackson has a better Winston than Warren does. They may be more comfortable and may already be planning on pulling that out. All I really have to go off of is time played, and I will say Jackson has about 5 times as many hours on Reinhardt than he does Winston. So I'm gonna guess he's not amazingly comfortable on that Winston. I do know he can play it, so it is an option for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would be interested to see them attempt it if they feel at all comfortable playing it.
Yeah, we did see mostly whenever we saw Jackson in for against Talonfire, we mostly saw Winston. When we ended up sorry, when they subbed in Warren, they were running a lot more Reinhardt, and even now they were running a lot more Reinhardt. So maybe this is a sort of situation where they want to have one main tank on Winston, one main tank on Reinhardt, which can be sort of bad for synergy, but still it will be strong. We are going to be seeing the map finally from VoteMeme today. We are going to Volskaya Industries. Which
this is an interesting one. I'm excited to see what these teams run. It can be a place for some interesting strategies. It can also be a place of very boring strategies, as any map can be. But so we may be kind of sticking with the pretty standard stuff. I don't think we're going to be seeing a lot of dive here. It tends not to be popular here. So VMT may be trying to get Odyssey off dive in any way.
Yeah, well, you say that, but actually in Overwatch League, I've been watching a lot of the matches. I know not many of our viewers may, but I've been seeing a lot of Winston's Diva dive on this map in particular. So maybe that's what they're going to run here from VoteMeme today. But I feel like the biggest problem with choosing this map is Zebra Cookie, because you just opened the Widow window. So,
I think the biggest problem with picking any map is Zebra Cookie existing. I think your kind of best bet is to just like DDoS him, make sure he can't play, something to get him out of this match. But I don't think you're really gonna stop him with a map pick. He's just doing so well. You can try to play against some of the other players' strengths. I mean, because they are contributing. It's obviously not all Zebra Cookie. Zebra Cookie cannot carry 1v6. The rest of Odyssey eSports is good. We're not trying to downplay that. Just Zebra Cookie is pretty exceptional. But Paradroid and Paradote are being really solid on the support line, along with that tank line being really good as well.
Yeah, it's sort of like a what is it? It's sort of like a situation like the London Spitfire. Like in London Spitfire Season 1, we all hyped out Prophet as the best player, but we all knew that everyone on the team was really good. So, yeah, it's probably one of those situations like Zebra Cookie is the best player on the team, but all the other players on Odyssey Sports are doing pretty good. So far, really good, strong performance by Odyssey Sports here.
Yeah, for sure. We are continuing to get some delays here, which is at least mildly understandable. We are going to be actually getting the R from VoteMeme today now. But, they obviously want to try to get as much information from their coach as they can, trying to bring this back and go 2-2 here so we can head to a map 5 and they have a chance to bring it back.
Yeah, absolutely. Having coaches, having people giving inspirational speeches like the King, doing all that sort of stuff can definitely help you in the long run. So now we are finally getting here on Volskaya Industries. It's time to see what sort of wacky wildness every team is going to be running. I know I messed up the alliteration on that very badly. I'm not that type of guy. English is my very worst language, but it's my first language. So what do I say?
It's all right. It's not like our job is to speak or anything. So. We will be seeing the team comps here out in about 10 seconds, so we'll get to actually see what these teams are going to be playing. We'll kind of start with a look at the defense. I'm really just stalling to see if I can talk for 10 seconds there, and I can, and we are going to be seeing what these teams are going to be pulling out. So I'm curious your thoughts. I am interested to see this Soldier.
Zebra Cookie not on the Widowmaker for the first time by far, or not on the Widowmaker or Junkrat. For the first time, this series seems very interesting. Maybe this is a sort of reactionary switch. Maybe we might see Zebra Cookie on the Widowmaker later, but for now on the Soldier, which again is a very interesting pick. Okay, now I am watching Zebra Cookie here as he tries to set up. He's like literally memeing on everyone. He used 2 rocket jumps to get over to the top right, and used another one to get up to the top left. Zebra Cookie, stop! This isn't the talent show.
I think he thinks it is. I mean, to be fair, he would be winning the talent show.
That is true. On the side of VoteMeme today, though, I do see very interesting composition. APAC dive with a Symmetra, so it looks like they are going to be going to the left side.
Symmetra flank with double bubble.
Paradroid is there. Paradroid's all over.
They could catch him out. He's already on fire, I think, and yeah, they're going to get the early kill into Paradroid. Good job catching him out of position, and we are going to be seeing the Reinhardt charging away as he reached below half health. Zebra Cookie does get the kill onto Storm, the DBS sub that we saw coming in for offensive. They're going to be porting over to the other high ground now, getting a different angle on this fight.
Yeah, this is a very interesting style of dive. The initiator to the dive seems to be that teleporter, and from there the entire team just goes on instead of having Jackson being the only person go onto it. Very interesting stuff here from Boat Team today. I've never seen anything like it, but it seems to be somewhat working as they are in the garage. They are about to try and step on the point. And that's 2 tanks.
Ooh, yeah, that is both tanks off. Paradroid now back is able to take out Storm, and the Bob is going to be getting thrown in there, really kind of messing them up with their positioning. None are dying to it so far. Paradroid is going to be taking out Rescue All, and Saber Kick with the 2K with the mines. That is an achievement. And so the defense holding pretty strong there. And I think if you look at this ult economy, it's not looking good for BMT in this next fight.
Yeah, VMT does not have a good ult economy, but on the same wavelength, on the side of Odyssey eSports, Mornatron used the graphitic flux when no one was alive on the side.
Ooh, I did not catch that one.
Yeah, I caught it, and I had a little reaction to it. Not good there for VMT, but not good there for...
Ooh, good shatter coming down. Bone's gonna be a nice 2K off of that. You do see the primal coming out from Jackson, trying to disrupt the defense there from Odyssey, but Bone is just continuing to get picks here, and Jackson will have to leave the fight and head back to the spawn room to regroup with the team.
Yeah, absolutely, and I feel like this is a big problem with having to switch to a more, like, oriented style dive. Trying to make some big switches. We're going to see Jackson move switch over to the Reinhardt now, but they tried to push in, and then all of a sudden Jackson was not with the rest of his team, had no bubble, and then Hailton just had a free shatter for 3 people. So very rough there from VMT, but they will be pushing in now with the Reinhardt, and hopefully they should be able to get some progress here because they've been having a very rough start to this map.
Yeah, they are taking a rotation through the left, and we will be seeing the visor coming out. You know, make sure to get that additional aim, make sure you don't miss a single shot. They are using Immortality to kind of help keep the team going there. We do see the Bob throwing it right into the middle of them. Coalescence trying to keep the team up, and it will be used to take down the Bob, which already got a kill onto Storm. And so they are mostly alive right now. They are missing Storm still, but they are kind of caught in an off position. They are kind of making the rotation around to that high ground, but the Flux will kind of catch them out. They're catching a lot of the team, and Hilton getting the charge onto Jackson Moon, and I think that's just going to be the end of that attack. It just needs to kind of get the cleanup there, and it is going to be about 30 seconds for their next attack.
Yeah, that seems like a very unfortunate death there for Jackson Moon. The immortality field from Erish was out, but apparently it happened to be out of LOS to catch Jackson Moon, so pretty rough there. We are going to be seeing Deja Vu switch over to the Tracer for the last minute stall. You do have some ults here on the side of the MT, but it's all a matter of if they can touch the point or if they're all going to die. That's going to be a big grab though.
Yes, it is, but the immortality is there to help keep them alive. Both windows getting thrown down at kind of odd angles, I must say. We actually will see a tick. Oh, almost a tick coming through from BMT. Hilton getting a nice 2K with that charge. The Bob is going to be getting 2K as well. All these ults getting thrown down, and that's going to be it for VMT. Not even able to get a tick. The best they can do is tie here on Volskaya to take it to a map 5.
Yeah, it's looking pretty rough here for Vote today. They've been having some strong points, but this is just... some things just didn't go right for them. There was a lot of pressure coming out from everyone on the side of Odyssey eSports. Mornatron was doing a lot of work. Zebra Cookie was kind of silent, but now Bone has taken over that role in terms of being the hardcore, killing spree character on the team. But regardless,
I mean, honestly, Hilton with those charges.
Hilton's charges were really ridiculous. He had charge on cooldown all that entire time. It was in your backline. So yeah, you don't want to be with the Reinhardt on charge on cooldown. So we're gonna have to see what Vote today's idea is for their defense. Again, it's either they full hold them, or go home. So it's gonna be rough here for Vote today, but there is still hope. We are going to be seeing a double flex tank meta coming out on the side of BMT. Keyframe on the Sigma and Jackson on the Zarya. maybe this is just because they're not comfortable playing they're just not comfortable playing the main tank right now because they don't have war in it.
You know, I mean, Jackson has kind of played that role. What I will find interesting, just kind of looking back on this match as a whole, no Roadhog. He's considered one of the most, like, powerful tanks right now, and he is not played. Guys, Experimental has not gone live yet. You can play Roadhog.
Well, I mean, they want to prepare for when the experimental goes live.
I mean, but still, he's still powerful. Make use of him while he's here. They are going to be getting a really good wall off onto those tanks, and are going to be taking Keyframe right out there. That's the kind of melee play I love to see, and they're going to be continuing to move here and looking for that next kill. Jackson is at half and going to be going down to Hilton. Storm going down as well to the Zarya, and they just need to clean up these last few kills, and that one single tick that they need should be theirs. Just the Farm Mercy alive, and now it is going to be no one, and no one is going to be able to touch, and so this is going to be going Odyssey 3-1 over Vote Meme today. A really good game. It started out a bit more even, but Odyssey was just really looking dominant throughout the entire second half there, and it's a very well-deserved win for them here.
Yeah, Odyssey just had the better performance overall in terms of being able to have not only star talent, but just like really good pressure on the enemy team. There were moments where VMT did look strong. They were able to come back and be able to make a lot of these fights happen, but Odyssey had the constant aggression on them. They just had a lot of constant aggression and a lot of good like initiations there. Boatmean today was just unable to react, but Boatmean today, your playoff hopes are not dead in the water yet. Odyssey eSports is still in contention, but you still have one more match to dictate it all, so it all depends how that match goes next week. So
it's against Koala Kings, it is number 2 right now, so it's going to be a very uphill battle for them. However, looking over Odyssey eSports, we will be getting an interview with Zero Cookie. So I'm very excited for that. They're going to be going up against Talonfire next. We'll kind of talk about that more in the interview. We are going to throw it to a short break as we get our interview prep, and make sure to tune in to just hear what Zebra Cookie has to say about this match. And we are back with an interview from Odyssey eSports Zebra Cookie. So congratulations on that 3-1 win.
Oh, I thank you.
Yeah, you were obviously doing a really great job throughout that match. But so coming into this, you and Vote Meme today are neck and neck. Both of you guys were coming in with losses. Were you guys feeling really confident coming into this match, or just what was the general mood as you kind of loaded into the lobby?
We always kind of come in confident, but since we lost, we were going 3-0. Since we lost our last match, we kind of took it a bit more serious.
Got it. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so we started off on Busan, where you guys obviously had the main tank disconnect and were able had to bring in Xavier. Did that kind of shake you guys up? Kind of give you a kind of hard start? I mean, you guys did end up losing that map despite being able to replace your main tank.
It did screw us up a little bit. Cough maps have never been our best map type, so we weren't expecting to just destroy him there.
Yeah, it's kind of guys are used to that slower start to a match.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, so I guess I can kind of pass it over to Bowsy. You kind of have the better questions about what happened during the match. So
Yeah, absolutely. I have one big question, and it has to revolve around your Widowmaker. Widowmaker is not really known as a big hero pick in this sort of meta. Most players, when they play in any sort of composition, will most likely go to that Ashe just because it has more value. Is your team just very confident that your Widowmaker is able to pop off so much so they put you on that Widowmaker? Or are you just not willing to run the Ashe or not comfortable on it?
Well, one of my teammate Bone normally plays the Ashe, but they weren't really on dive past Busan. They switched to Brawl, so it kind of was just free picks most of the time. I didn't get contested a lot.
I mean, yeah, that is fair. An uncontested Widow will get a lot of value, especially when the enemy team is running only brawls. So, yeah, does make a lot of sense there.
But yeah, it was with your guys' tank composition. We saw a lot of Reinhardt, but you also saw a significant amount of the Winston dive. So kind of where are you guys with that tank pick? What do you feel kind of most comfortable on? And what do you guys consider your favorite comp?
Brawl is definitely our best comp. I prefer the dive, but we were getting a lot of value on the Widow, so we just decided to go Brawl since because we knew we could beat them Brawl wise.
Yeah, I think that decision ended up working really well. I don't really have a lot of questions because I mean the last three maps were all pretty similar in how they ended up playing out. You guys had some really clean ults. You guys were getting those really early picks. Both you and Bone doing a really great job there.
Yeah,
so,
I actually do have another question here,
okay.
if you don't mind, Reignbow.
Yep.
So obviously on Havana, you guys were playing a really aggressive style, especially you. I saw a lot of aggressive Widowmaker angles that I would not see most Widowmakers go for because that's just like way too far up front and they fear they will get picked off really easily. Is that just a feeling of like, yeah, I'm going to dominate no matter where I am, or you just really want to be with the rest of your team and be aggressive with them?
Most of the time against these teams, they don't expect it, and I have a lot of support because we were in the Sigma there, so he was able to shield me for a majority of those angles, especially the ones when we were like going into their spawn. But I just had a lot of support from the team.
I mean, any support is good support, especially when it comes to that sort of games. So yeah, great job to the rest of your team being able to support you and you getting all those picks. I don't know if you have anything else, Reignbow.
Yes, I think I was going to move on to kind of going forward. Well, I also want to ask, are there any like really good shot callers or coaches that kind of gives credit to you guys doing really well?
Yeah, Mornitron, our off tank.
I don't see a lot of off tank shot callers.
Yeah, it's usually the main tank calling. Surprising that we hear that it's the flex tank calling.
I mean, it's usually target calls from the tank and then that shot calling from the support line. So yeah, that's really interesting to hear coming from the off tank, and that works, really well for you guys. Clearly, yeah. I mean, you guys are doing well.
Clearly, it works for you really well.
Cool. Well, so you guys have some makeup matches coming up, actually, because you need to go back and face Kraken Skulls and MSBY Black Jackals, in addition to your Week 5 Day 1 match versus Talonfire. With MSBY taking out Hyperion, are you guys kind of a bit more anxious for that match than you were originally?
A little bit, considering they're one of the teams with a better win-loss ratio this season. So a little bit, yeah. But I'm sure we'll do fine.
Yeah, you guys still got that confidence. Yeah, and I imagine you also have a bit of kind of nervousness going into the match against Talent Facts. They're also another pretty top team, kind of been a rising star throughout this season. But I'm sure you guys are gonna kind of carry that confidence you've had for this match into that as well. Do you guys have pretty good confidence? Do you guys can actually make it into playoffs despite the 2-match deficit you guys have over every other team?
I do feel relatively confident that we'll make it in the playoffs. I think we'll at least make it in the playoffs, yes.
I'm just curious, your personal confidence, team confidence. How far are you guys thinking you're gonna make it there?
I don't imagine if we do make the playoffs that we'll be the first ones knocked out. But some of our past tournaments have been just very, very close, so we've came top 2 most times.
Got it. So you're kind of looking to maybe do that again. So we'll see how that ends up going, and I wish you guys luck in those upcoming matches. I know it's probably a lot to do those 3 matches in such a short time. So Bowsy, do you have any closing questions for our guest here?
No, not really. I feel like we've covered pretty much everything that we need to ask. Great job today.
All right, thank you.
Cool. Well, thank you everyone for coming out and watching this match. Make sure to continue to tune in. I think there's still a game going on Silent Marine's channel as well if you want to go tune into that next.
Yeah, there is still a game going on Silent Marines. I'm watching it right now.
Yep, and we will. There's a game coming up on Monday, and I think there might also be one on Tuesday as well. So make sure to tune into those, as well as the final matches from Week 5, Day 1 coming on next week. But so that is all. So good night.
Good night.